October 14th, 2019. A doorbell rings in a quiet suburb of Portland, Oregon. When David Matthews opens the door, he sees the impossible standing in front of him. The woman he buried 7 years ago. The woman whose funeral he attended. The woman whose grave he visited every Sunday. She's soaking wet, trembling, and she's holding an unopened letter. His heart stops, because Emma Carter was supposed to be dead. What you're about to hear is the most heart-touching love story you'll ever witness, but not in the way you'd expect. It defies logic. It breaks every rule of love, death, and trust. And by the end of this story, you'll question everything you thought you knew about the person sleeping next to you. This is Emma Carter and David Matthews, high school sweethearts from Eugene, Oregon. They were inseparable. Everyone said they were soulmates. But in 2012, Emma vanished during a weekend trip to the coast. Her body was found 3 weeks later, identified, buried, case closed. So tonight, we're asking 3 questions. First, if Emma Carter died in 2012, who did David bury? Second, where has Emma been for 7 years? And third, why did she come back holding a letter that was never supposed to be opened? Stay with me, because this story gets stranger with every minute. Emma and David met in 2005 at Roosevelt High School. She was the quiet artist who painted in the library during lunch. He was the track star who couldn't take his eyes off her. Friends say David would intentionally fail art class just to spend more time with her. It worked. They were that couple, you know? The kind that made you believe in forever. Emma used to write him these beautiful letters, old-fashioned, handwritten love notes. She'd hide them everywhere. His locker, his car, his gym bag. By 2010, they were engaged. David was working construction. Emma was finishing her degree in fine arts. They bought a small house, adopted a dog named Biscuit. Life was simple. Life was good. But Emma had a secret, something she never told David, something that would eventually tear their world apart. In her private journal, Emma wrote, "I love him more than my own life, but there are parts of me he can never know, parts that would destroy us." October 2012, Emma and David take a weekend trip to Cannon Beach to celebrate their anniversary. It's supposed to be romantic, a reset, because lately, Emma's been distant, withdrawn. David notices, but doesn't push. Saturday morning, Emma goes for a walk along the cliffs. She tells David she needs to clear her head. He kisses her goodbye. That's the last time he sees her. Hours pass. David calls her phone, no answer. He searches the beach, nothing. By nightfall, he calls the police. 3 weeks later, a body washes ashore 12 miles down the coast, badly decomposed, but the ID in the jacket pocket belongs to Emma Carter. Dental records match. The medical examiner rules it an accidental drowning. David is devastated. The funeral happens quickly, a closed casket. David buries the woman he loves. Case closed. Or so everyone thought. Before we go further, I need to know you're still with me. If this story is pulling you in, drop a comment right now and tell me what state are you watching from. I'm reading every single one. Let's see how far this story travels. David Matthews becomes a ghost of himself. Every Sunday, for 7 years, he visits Emma's grave. He talks to her, reads her old letters. His friends beg him to move on. He can't. He won't. He keeps her things exactly as she left them. Her coffee mug, her paintbrushes, her half-finished canvas in the spare room. People whisper that he's lost his mind, but David doesn't care, because loving Emma is the only thing that keeps him alive. Then, in September 2019, something arrives in his mailbox, an envelope, no return address. Inside, a handwritten note on Emma's stationery. It says, "I'm sorry, I'll explain everything. October 14th. Don't open the letter until I arrive." David's hands shake. This is impossible. Emma is dead. He buried her. But the handwriting, it's hers. Every loop, every curve, unmistakable. October 14th, 2019, 9:47 p.m. David opens the door, and there she is. Emma, older, thinner, but alive. She's crying, she's holding an envelope, and the first words out of her mouth are, "I never wanted you to find out this way." David can't breathe, can't speak. Emma steps inside, she hands him the letter, the one marked "Do Not Open Until 2019, and she tells him the truth. Emma Carter didn't drown, she ran, because 7 years ago, she discovered something that made staying impossible, something that would have destroyed David if he knew. 2 weeks before their anniversary trip, Emma found a box in David's closet. Inside were letters, love letters, written by David to another woman, a woman named Claire. The affair had been going on for months. Emma was heartbroken, but there was more. Emma was pregnant. She hadn't told David yet. She wanted the weekend trip to be the moment, but after finding those letters, she couldn't do it. She couldn't raise a child with a man she no longer trusted. David opens the letter. Inside, Emma explains everything. Emma staged her death with help from her sister. The body that washed ashore was a Jane Doe from a morgue, dressed in Emma's clothes. Emma paid off the medical examiner. She disappeared to a small town in Montana, changed her name, raised their daughter alone. Her name is Lily. She's 7 years old. She has David's eyes. And Emma came back because Lily started asking questions Emma couldn't answer anymore. But here's the final twist. The letters Emma found weren't love letters. They were apology letters. David had been writing to Claire, his ex-girlfriend, begging her to stop contacting him because Claire was obsessed, threatening, stalking him. David never told Emma because he didn't want to scare her. Emma ran from a lie, and David mourned a ghost, all because neither of them trusted the other enough to tell the truth. So what happens now? Can you forgive someone for faking their own death? Can you rebuild trust after 7 years of lies? David and Emma are still figuring that out. Lily knows her father exists now, but she doesn't know if she wants to meet him. This heart-touching love story doesn't end with a kiss or a reunion. It ends with a question that haunts them both. Was their love real, or was it built on the fragments of what they wanted to believe? Love isn't always enough. Sometimes silence destroys more than the truth ever could. So I'm asking you, if you were David, would you forgive her? If you were Emma, would you have come back? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be reading every one. If this story messed with your head, you need to see what happened in the next case. Click the video on screen now. Trust me, you won't believe where this goes. And if you're new here, subscribe, because every week I bring you real stories that prove reality is stranger than fiction. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.